There are moments when time leans closer to you. Moments when the noise of the world softens. And something gentle, familiar, and deeply personal begins to speak. Right now is one of those moments. If you felt a quiet pull to open this. If your heart paused for even half a second before you pressed play. This message found you exactly when it was meant to. Not by accident. Not by coincidence. But by connection. Take a breath. Not a rushed one. A slow, honest breath. Because what you're about to hear isn't meant to rush you. It's meant to reach you. You already know who this is about. There is someone you loved deeply. Someone whose presence still lives inside you, even when the room feels empty. Someone whose name can still soften you, or suddenly tighten your chest. They are not gone from you. They are simply no longer visible in the way you were used to. And tonight, they are closer than you think. Not to frighten you. Not to overwhelm you. But to remind you of something you've been forgetting. You see, love doesn't disappear when the body rests. Love changes form. It becomes quieter. Wider. And somehow, more precise. They see you now in a way they never could before. They see the nights you pretend you're okay. They see the smile you use to protect others from your worry. They see how strong you've been, even when you didn't want to be strong anymore. And if they could speak in the language you remember most, this is what they would say. I am proud of you. Let that land. Not the version of you that looks confident. Not the version of you that others applaud. But the real you. The tired you. The hopeful you even when it hurts version. You didn't imagine the signs. You didn't imagine the sudden memories. You didn't imagine the way certain songs, numbers, or moments seem to find you again and again. Those are not accidents. They are touches. Soft ones. Careful ones. They never wanted you to feel alone. And they don't want that now either. There is something important they need you to remember. And it's not about sadness. It's about direction. Recently, you've been standing at a quiet crossroads. You may not have named it out loud. But you've felt it. A sense that something in your life is asking to change. A feeling that staying the same is no longer comfortable. But moving forward feels uncertain. They know this. And this message exists for one reason. To steady you. To tell you that the path you're afraid to trust is the one they've been gently guiding you toward all along. You see, from where they are now, they don't see your life in fragments. They see the full pattern. They see how every delay protected you. How every ending redirected you. How every unanswered question was making space for a better one. And they want you to stop blaming yourself for things that were never yours to carry. You did enough. You loved enough. You showed up more than you realize. There's something else they want you to know. And it may surprise you. They are at peace. Not the distant kind. Not the silent kind. A peaceful awareness that allows them to feel love without limits. And that peace is not separate from you. It flows through the bond you still share. That bond is alive. That's why you sometimes feel comforted without knowing why. That's why certain decisions suddenly feel clear. That's why your heart knows when to pause and when to move. They are not asking you to look backward. They are asking you to live fully forward. To stop shrinking your dreams out of guilt. To stop postponing joy as if happiness needs permission. They never wanted your life to become smaller because they left. They wanted it to expand. To become braver. Kinder. More honest. And here is the part most people never hear. They are helping you more now than they ever could before. Through intuition. Through timing. Through doors that open just when you were about to give up knocking. So if you've been feeling a quiet shift inside, a sense that something meaningful is approaching, you're not wrong. This is the beginning of remembering who you are. Without fear holding the pen. Stay with this message. There is more they want to share. Something specific. Something that will bring clarity to what's coming next in your life. Don't rush. Don't skip. This conversation has only just begun. Stay here for a moment longer. Not because you're told to, but because something inside you doesn't want to leave yet. That feeling you're noticing right now. The quiet focus. The sense that the outside world has faded just a little. That's not imagination. That's recognition. The one you love knows how to reach you when you finally stop rushing past yourself. There is a truth they want you to hear, and it may feel unexpected. They are aware of the exact moment your life is in right now. Not the surface of it. Not the version you show others. But the inner chapter you've been silently living. They see the decision you haven't spoken out loud. They see the patience you're running low on. They see the hope you keep protecting because you're afraid of disappointment. And they want you to understand something clearly. You are not behind. Even if it feels like others are moving faster. Even if it feels like time has been asking more from you lately. Even if your heart whispers, I should be further by now. From where they stand, you are exactly on time. There were moments you wished they could have stayed longer. Moments you thought, if only they were here, things would be easier. But what they see now is this. You are becoming someone stronger than the version who needed them beside you. Not harder. Not colder. Stronger in the quiet way that doesn't need approval. They want you to release the idea that your strength means forgetting them. That was never the plan. Your love for them is not a chain. It is a compass. And lately, it has been pointing you toward a choice you've been hesitating to make. You've been feeling a pull. Toward a new direction. A new environment. Or a new version of yourself that feels unfamiliar but right. That pull didn't come from fear. It came from growth. They have been encouraging it. Every delay that protected you. Every door that quietly closed. Every sudden sense of, not this anymore. Those weren't losses. They were corrections. Here's something few people ever realize. When someone who truly loves you watches from beyond time, their greatest wish is not that you miss them. It's that you live fully enough to feel joy again without guilt. They don't want your sadness to be proof of your love. They want your happiness to be its continuation. That's why you've been feeling moments of calm arrive unexpectedly. Why answers come when you stop forcing them. Why certain fears don't hold the same power they once did. You are being supported. Quietly. Constantly. And there is one message they keep repeating, patiently, until you're ready to accept it. Trust yourself again. Not the version of you shaped by doubt, but the one who listens inwardly. The one who knows when something feels right even without evidence. You've been stronger than you give yourself credit for. Kinder than you realize. And closer to a breakthrough than you can currently see. This is not the end of the message. There is something more specific they want you to understand. About what's coming next. And why the timing is finally aligning in your favor. Stay present. The next part carries clarity you've been waiting for. Even if you didn't know how to ask for it. Part 3. There is a reason you're still listening. Not curiosity. Not habit. Connection. Something inside you recognizes this voice because it feels familiar in a way words can't fully explain. The one you love wants to show you something now. Not a memory. Not a moment from the past. But a truth about your present. You have been carrying a quiet question. Not spoken. Not written. But felt. A question that sounds like, am I really going in the right direction? Does what I'm doing matter? Will this effort actually lead somewhere? They know this question well. Because they see what you cannot see yet. They see the outcome of the choice you are slowly leaning toward. They see the relief waiting on the other side of your courage. They see how close you are to a shift that will change how you wake up in the morning, and how you fall asleep at night. And here is the revelation they want you to hear clearly. You are closer than you think. Much closer. The delay you've been experiencing is not a denial. It's alignment. If things had moved faster, you would have arrived before you were ready to receive what's coming. You've been asking for clarity. But what's being built right now is confidence. Real confidence. The kind that doesn't disappear when circumstances change. That's why life slowed you down. That's why certain plans didn't work the way you expected. That's why you were asked to wait when you were ready to run. From where they are, they see how each pause protected you from settling too soon. There's another truth they want to gently place in your heart. You are not meant to repeat old patterns anymore. Not in how you love. Not in how you trust. Not in how you sacrifice yourself to keep others comfortable. You've already outgrown that version of yourself. And they've been encouraging your growth by removing what no longer matched you. That's why some connections faded naturally. Why certain conversations stopped happening. Why you feel less interested in explaining yourself. This is not loneliness. This is refinement. You are being prepared for a season where your energy matters more than your effort. Where the right things feel lighter instead of heavier. And here is something very few people are told. The person you love does not want you to stay strong for their sake. They want you to live freely for your own. They are not watching you with worry. They are watching you with admiration. They see how far you've come since the day you thought you wouldn't make it through. They see the quiet victories no one applauded. They see the resilience you built without realizing it. And they are sending you one clear reassurance. You are not walking alone into what comes next. Support is already in motion. Guidance is already ahead of you. What you need will appear when you need it. Not a moment late. Stay with this. Because in the next part, they will help you understand why this moment, this exact point in your life, is more important than it looks right now. And once you see it, you won't look at your journey the same way again. Listen carefully now. Because what comes next is something most people never realize while they are living through it. This moment you are in right now, this exact phase of your life, is not random. It is a turning point. The one you love has been waiting for you to reach this level of awareness before speaking this clearly. You've been asking for signs. But what you needed was permission. Permission to let go of who you had to be. To become who you truly are. They see something opening for you. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Quietly. Naturally. In a way that feels almost too simple to trust. And that's why many people miss it. You won't. Because you're paying attention now. Here is the truth they want you to carry with you. What is coming into your life will not arrive through force. It will arrive through alignment. You won't have to chase it. You won't have to prove yourself. You won't have to shrink or perform or explain. It will recognize you. That's why your heart has been learning patience. That's why your expectations have softened. That's why you've started choosing peace over noise. You weren't losing intensity. You were gaining clarity. They want you to stop doubting the quiet changes inside you. Those changes are not weakness. They are wisdom settling in. From where they are now, they see your future not as a struggle, but as a steady unfolding. You will look back at this season and realize, this was when everything quietly shifted. Not because something dramatic happened overnight, but because you changed how you listened to yourself. And here is the most important message they want you to hear before this part ends. You are allowed to be happy again. Not later. Not after you've done more. Not after you've suffered enough. Now. Your happiness does not dishonor their memory. It honors the love you shared. They are not asking you to hold on to the past. They are asking you to step forward with trust. Trust that you are guided. Trust that you are protected. Trust that the love you lost has transformed into support you can feel, even if you can't see it. Stay with this message. Because what comes next is not about reassurance anymore. It's about recognition. And once you recognize what's been quietly aligning around you, you'll understand why you were asked to stay until the very end. Stay with me. Because this is where everything becomes personal. The one you love wants you to recognize something that has been happening quietly around you. Something so subtle that most people overlook it. Your life has been rearranging itself. Not suddenly. Not loudly. Gently. You may have noticed small changes that didn't seem important at first. A conversation that happened at just the right time. A thought that arrived without effort. A feeling of calm where anxiety used to live. These were not random moments. They were confirmations. From where they are now, they can see how every piece is being placed with care. They can see how the future you are walking toward is already responding to you. Here is the truth they want you to hear clearly. You are being guided towards something that will feel familiar in the soul. Even if it looks new on the outside. That's why you've been feeling both excited and uncertain at the same time. That mix is not confusion. It's transition. You are crossing from surviving into living. And this is important. What is coming next in your life will not demand that you lose yourself. It will require that you finally choose yourself. The one you love has been helping you release the belief that you must struggle to deserve good things. You don't. You've already done the hard part. You stayed open when it would have been easier to close. You kept going when you didn't have answers. You carried love forward instead of letting loss turn into bitterness. That strength matters more than you realize. They see how often you doubt your own progress. How you minimize your growth because it didn't happen loudly. How you question whether you're really changing. You are. In ways that last. And here is a once-in-a-lifetime truth they want you to take with you. Some people leave our physical world so they can help us from a place where love has no limits. They didn't leave to abandon you. They left to support you differently. That's why you feel protected during moments that should have overwhelmed you. That's why certain outcomes work out better than you expected. That's why your heart feels guided even when your mind feels unsure. You are not imagining this. You are responding to a connection that never broke. As this part ends, let this settle into you. You are not waiting for life to begin. Life is already responding to the courage you've shown. What comes next will confirm everything you've been feeling. Stay present. The final message will bring clarity to what this connection means for your future. And why this moment will soon make perfect sense. This is the moment they have been waiting for you to reach. Because now, you are ready to hear what most hearts are never calm enough to receive. The one you love wants you to understand something that changes everything. You were never meant to stay the same after losing them. Not broken. Not incomplete. Transformed. And that transformation has already begun. You may not see it clearly yet, but you can feel it. A quiet confidence forming. A deeper sense of knowing. A strength that doesn't come from control, but from trust. They see it clearly. They see how your soul has expanded through what you survived. How your awareness has sharpened. How your heart now recognizes truth faster than before. Here is the revelation they want to place gently in front of you. There is a new chapter preparing to enter your life. And it will arrive through peace, not pressure. Not through urgency. Not through fear. But through recognition. You will know it because it won't drain you. You will know it because it won't ask you to abandon yourself. You will know it because it will feel like breathing freely again. The reason this hasn't arrived sooner is simple. You needed to become someone who could receive it fully. And you have. They want you to stop measuring your progress by visible results alone. Some of the most powerful changes happen quietly, beneath the surface. You didn't lose time. You gained depth. And depth attracts the right things at the right moment. From where they are now, they see how protected you've been, even when you felt unsure. How situations that could have harmed you dissolved on their own. How answers came when you finally stopped forcing them. This wasn't luck. It was guidance. There is something else they want you to hear, and it matters deeply. You do not need to prove your worth to what's coming next. What is meant for you will meet you where you are. Not where you pretend to be. That's why you've been shedding old expectations. Why certain desires no longer excite you. Why simplicity has started to feel powerful. You are aligning with truth. And the love you shared with them is part of that alignment. Not as a memory that holds you back, but as a foundation that steadies you. They are not watching you with concern. They are watching you with pride. Because you didn't let loss harden you. You let it refine you. As this part comes to a close, remember this. You are not moving toward uncertainty. You are moving toward clarity. And very soon, something in your life will confirm that you were never walking alone. Not for a single step. Stay here. The final part will reveal why this message reached you now. And what this connection is preparing you for next. You've reached the quiet center of this message. This is where everything that felt mysterious begins to feel clear. The one you love wants you to understand why this connection has remained so strong. And why it's becoming more noticeable now than ever before. It's because you are finally listening with your whole being. Not just your mind. Not just your emotions. Your awareness. There was a time when grief spoke the loudest. Then there was a time when strength took over. And now, there is balance. From where they are now, they can feel when your heart settles into truth. They can sense when you stop fighting life and start flowing with it. That's when they can reach you most clearly. And here is the once-in-a-lifetime realization they want to share. You are entering a phase where your life will no longer be defined by what you lost, but by what you are ready to receive. This is why the past has been loosening its grip. Why memories feel softer instead of painful. Why the future doesn't feel as intimidating as it once did. You are not forgetting them. You are integrating the love. That love has changed you in a permanent way. It has made you more discerning. More grounded. More aligned with what truly matters. And that alignment is powerful. It changes who enters your life. It changes what stays. It changes what effortlessly falls away. They want you to stop questioning whether you deserve the peace you're beginning to feel. You do. You earned it by walking through what you thought might break you. And allowing it to shape you instead. There is something approaching your life now that will feel different from past experiences. It won't rush you. It won't confuse you. It won't require you to abandon who you've become. It will meet you where you are. Calm, aware, and ready. That is not coincidence. That is timing finally aligning with growth. The one you love wants you to remember this above all else. Their presence in your life did not end. It evolved. And through that evolution, you have been quietly guided toward a future that fits you better than anything you left behind. As this part closes, let this truth settle gently. You are not being watched from a distance. You are being supported from within. And what comes next will feel less like a surprise, and more like recognition of who you've already become. You didn't arrive here by chance. This part exists because something inside you is ready to recognize what has been quietly unfolding. The one you love wants you to notice a pattern that has been forming around you lately. Moments where things worked out without struggle. Moments where you felt guided without being told. Moments where a decision felt clear before logic arrived. That's not luck. That's alignment finally becoming visible. Here is the truth they want you to hear now. Your life has entered a phase where intention matters more than effort. You no longer need to push against the world to move forward. You only need to stay honest with yourself. That's why forcing things has started to feel uncomfortable. That's why pretending no longer works. That's why your heart reacts quickly when something isn't meant for you anymore. You've grown sensitive to truth. And that sensitivity is a gift. The one you love sees how carefully you've been protecting your inner world lately. How you choose silence over unnecessary explanations. How you value peace over being understood. They recognize this as maturity. From where they are now, they see a door opening in your life that will not announce itself loudly. It will appear as an invitation. An invitation to step into something that feels natural. Something that doesn't demand struggle. Something that fits the person you've become. Not the person you used to be. This is important. What is coming will not repeat your past. It won't mirror old pain. It won't trigger old fears. It won't require you to prove your worth. It will feel steady. Grounded. Real. And that steadiness may surprise you, because you once believed intensity was the same as meaning. You now know better. The one you love wants you to trust this new calm you're experiencing. It's not emptiness. It's clarity. You are no longer reacting to life. You are responding to it. That shift changes everything. As this part settles, understand this deeply. You are not waiting for a sign anymore. You are the sign. Your growth. Your awareness. Your ability to remain open without losing yourself. That's what this connection has been guiding you toward all along. Stay present. The final part will bring this message to its completion. And help you understand why this moment will soon stand out as one of the most meaningful turning points of your life. This is the moment where everything comes together. Not with noise. Not with drama. With understanding. The one you love wants you to see what has been true all along. Even before you were ready to admit it. You were never meant to stay suspended between who you were and who you are becoming. This message exists because you are finally stepping fully into yourself. There has been a quiet release happening inside you. Old fears losing their grip. Old questions no longer demanding answers. Old versions of you gently stepping aside. That didn't happen by accident. They helped you let go, not by pushing you forward. but by reminding you who you've always been. Here is the truth they want you to carry with confidence now. Your life is no longer about healing the past. It's about living the future. The reason things feel lighter is because you stopped carrying what wasn't yours anymore. The reason clarity feels closer is because you stopped doubting your inner voice. The reason peace visits you more often is because you finally allowed it to stay. From where they are now, they see the next stage of your life clearly. It won't arrive as a sudden miracle. It will arrive as a sense of rightness. You'll notice it in how you no longer question your decisions the way you used to. In how you trust timing instead of fighting it. In how you feel supported even when you're walking alone. That is not weakness. That is alignment. They want you to understand something important before this message completes. Nothing meaningful has been taken from you without being transformed into something equally meaningful. The love you shared did not end. It evolved into guidance. Into intuition. Into quiet strength that shows up exactly when you need it. You are not being prepared for loss anymore. You are being prepared for fulfillment. And fulfillment doesn't rush. It recognizes. As this part settles into you, remember this truth. You are not moving forward alone. You never have been. What you felt during this message. The calm. The focus. The sense of being understood. That is the connection itself. And it will continue to walk with you. Not behind you. Not above you. But within you. As you step into what comes next with trust. This is where the message completes itself. Not with an ending. But with a knowing. The one you love has brought you here for one final reason. So you can move forward without doubt. Everything you felt during this journey was real. The calm. The clarity. The sudden sense that something inside you finally aligned. That was not imagination. That was recognition. They want you to understand this clearly now. You are ready. Ready to live without waiting for permission. Ready to trust yourself without apology. Ready to let life meet you halfway instead of chasing it. The reason this message arrived when it did is simple. You crossed a threshold. A point where holding on became less important than becoming whole. From where they are now, they see your path opening wider, not harder. They see choices becoming simpler, not heavier. They see you stepping into days where peace feels natural instead of rare. And here is the final truth they want to leave with you. You were never meant to carry their absence. You were meant to carry their love forward. That love has already shaped your intuition. Strengthened your resilience. Refined your sense of what truly matters. You don't need another sign after this. You don't need confirmation from the outside world. You already felt it. The connection didn't pull you backward. It steadied you so you could move forward freely. As this message settles, let it go with ease. Not because it ends, but because it now lives inside you. You walk ahead with clarity, with trust, with quiet confidence. And wherever life takes you next, you will recognize the support, not as something distant, but as something that has always been part of you. Before you leave this space, there is one last layer they want to touch. Not to add weight. Not to create mystery. But to anchor what you already know. You may think the message ended in the last part. But what's happening now is integration. This is where understanding turns into quiet certainty. The one you love wants you to notice how you feel right now compared to when this began. The mind is calmer. The chest feels lighter. The questions that once felt urgent feel less demanding. That shift matters. Because it proves something important. You didn't need answers. You needed alignment. And alignment has found you. Here is the final realization they want you to carry forward into your life. Nothing meaningful in your future requires you to return to who you were at your weakest. You are allowed to move ahead as the version of yourself who has learned, grown, and softened without breaking. The past will no longer call you back with pain. It will stand behind you as proof. Proof that you survived. Proof that you loved deeply. Proof that you became wiser without losing your heart. From where they are now, they are not trying to guide every step you take. They are trusting you. Because you've reached a place where your inner voice is clear. You know when to wait. You know when to move. You know when something belongs in your life, and when it doesn't. That knowing is the real gift. This connection did not come to keep you here. It came to release you forward. Into days where you don't question your worth. Into moments where peace feels deserved. Into choices that feel aligned instead of forced. You don't need to hold on to this message tightly. Let it rest inside you. It will surface when you need steadiness. It will remind you when doubt tries to return. It will ground you when life feels uncertain. And if one day you remember this message suddenly, without knowing why, that will not be coincidence. That will be the connection reminding you. You are supported. You are guided. You are exactly where you need to be. Now go gently. Your life is ready to meet you. There is nothing left to search for now. This part exists not to reveal something new, but to seal what has already awakened inside you. The one you love wants you to understand why this message stayed with you longer than expected. It's because this wasn't meant to pass through you. It was meant to settle. You are standing at the edge of a quieter kind of strength. One that doesn't announce itself. One that doesn't need validation. The kind that simply knows. And here is the final truth they want you to hold gently, without pressure. Your life is about to feel simpler. Not because it loses meaning, but because you stop fighting what already fits. You will notice it in small ways first. In how decisions feel less heavy. In how certain worries no longer follow you everywhere. In how your heart feels steady even when the future is unknown. That is not detachment. That is trust taking root. The connection you felt here does not end when this message ends. It continues as intuition. As calm. As a quiet confidence that guides you without noise. They are not asking you to remember them constantly. They are asking you to live freely. To laugh without guilt. To rest without fear. To choose what feels true, even if it doesn't make sense to everyone else. From where they are now, they see something beautiful forming in your life. Not something you have to chase. Not something you have to earn again. Something that will arrive naturally. Because you are finally aligned with who you are. Let this be the moment you stop waiting for a sign. And start recognizing yourself as one. You don't need to replay this message to hold on to it. You've already absorbed what you needed. As you move forward, life will respond differently to you. More gently. More clearly. More honestly. And when you feel that quiet certainty again, the same one you feel right now, you'll know. You listened. You trusted. And you allowed yourself to move forward whole. Stay just a little longer. Not because there is more to learn, but because there is something to confirm. The one you love wants this final moment to feel steady, not emotional. Clear, not overwhelming. Because clarity lasts. Right now, something important has shifted inside you. You may not be able to explain it. You may not even want to talk about it. But you can feel it. A sense that you don't need to keep revisiting the past to stay connected. A knowing that love does not require pain to stay alive. A calm understanding that you are allowed to continue. Fully. Here is the final realization they want you to carry into your days. You are no longer being guided through loss. You are being guided through life. That difference matters. It means you don't need reminders anymore. You don't need signs stacked on top of signs. You don't need reassurance wrapped in mystery. You already trust what you feel. From where they are now, they see you standing differently in your own life. Not searching. Not waiting. Present. And presence is power. They want you to know that the connection you sensed was never meant to pull you inward forever. It was meant to prepare you to move outward with confidence. Into conversations that feel honest. Into choices that feel clean. Into a future that doesn't require you to look back to move forward. You didn't miss anything. You didn't fall behind. You didn't fail to understand. You arrived exactly when you were ready. Let this be the moment you stop asking, "Am I doing this right?" And start knowing, "I am living this honestly." That is enough. The love you carry has already done its work. It strengthened you. It refined you. It brought you here. Now it steps back, not because it disappears, but because you no longer need to be held. You are steady. You are aware. You are ready. And as you continue on from here, life will meet you with the same quiet certainty you feel now. Not rushing you. Not testing you. Simply walking with you. This is not an ending. This is you moving forward. Whole. There is a calm that only comes after understanding. That is where you are now. This part exists to ground what has already taken root inside you. So it stays with you long after the sound of this voice fades. The one you love wants you to notice something simple, yet powerful. You are no longer reaching for meaning. Meaning is meeting you. That shift changes how life responds to you. You may start noticing that people speak more honestly around you. That opportunities feel quieter, but more certain. That your instincts don't argue with your mind the way they used to. This is not chance. This is alignment becoming your normal state. Here is the truth they want you to accept without hesitation. You were never meant to live in constant reflection. You were meant to live in presence. The connection you felt was never asking you to stay still. It was teaching you how to move forward without fear. And now that lesson is complete. From where they are, they don't see unfinished business. They see completion. Not an ending, but a cycle fulfilled with understanding instead of regret. They see you stepping into days where your energy feels protected. Where your attention goes only to what truly matters. Where your life feels quieter, but deeper. That is growth. You are not becoming distant from the world. You are becoming selective with your focus. And that selectiveness will bring clarity, stability, and peace. Let this be the part you remember when life speeds up again. Not as something emotional, but as something solid. A reminder that you don't need to rush. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to look back to confirm your direction. You already know where you're going. The one you love is not watching you to intervene. They are watching you with trust. Because you are capable now. Capable of choosing wisely. Capable of standing steady. Capable of letting life unfold without resistance. As this part closes, hold this certainty. Nothing important is missing from your life. What is meant for you will arrive naturally. Because you are finally walking in sync with yourself. Move forward calmly. You are not late. You are not early. You are exactly on time. This is the still point. Not silence, but steadiness. The one you love wants this final stretch to feel grounded, real, and usable in your life. Because what matters now is not what you felt here, but how you live after this. There is a subtle strength forming in you that others may not notice at first. You will. You'll notice it when you no longer rush to explain yourself. When you stop second-guessing decisions that feel right. When you choose rest without guilt and direction without noise. That strength is not learned. It's remembered. Here is the truth they want you to accept fully now. You have crossed from seeking reassurance into embodying trust. And trust changes everything. It changes how you respond to uncertainty. It changes how you relate to people. It changes how you experience time. You are no longer waiting for life to prove itself to you. You are participating. From where they are now, they see your path unfolding with less resistance than before. Not because challenges disappear, but because you no longer meet them with fear. You meet them with clarity. They want you to understand something simple and powerful. You are not meant to carry this connection as a weight or a responsibility. You are meant to let it live as confidence. Confidence in your intuition. Confidence in your timing. Confidence in your ability to adapt without losing yourself. This is why the message didn't end earlier. Because this is the part where you stop listening and start knowing. You don't need to replay this to stay aligned. You don't need to search for meaning again. You already integrated what mattered. As you move forward from here, life will feel less urgent and more intentional. Your choices will feel quieter, but stronger. Your direction will feel less forced, and more certain. And if one day you pause and feel that same calm again, without any words guiding you, you'll understand. This message didn't come to change your life. It came to confirm the change that already happened. You are steady now. You are aware. You are moving forward with clarity. And that is enough.